Um, so I posted today about the online teaching exemptions for 2021. And I wanted to clarify a few things. And I first want to kind of explain um, the relationship between Yoga Alliance and online yoga spaces, and how we got to this point and what the history has been. Um, so I wasn't always registered with Yoga Alliance. I was, and then I wasn't, and then I was again. And the reason why yoga is an unregulated industry, and so I felt like there was no need to pay the fees and to kind of support this idea that it was regulated by this organization when actually it's not. But I kind of had a change of heart a few years ago. There were a few states where the government was going to try to regulate yoga. So we would have had to have in those states here in the US like a government license to teach yoga. And Yoga Alliance hired lobbyists and they advocated strongly against it. And so I appreciated that they did that. And at the same time, I was doing more and more teacher trainings. And a lot of people that were interested in my training were saying, hey, are you registered with Yoga Alliance? And I want to register. So, out of support for the people that I was potentially going to be training, I wanted to be registered so that if that's something that was important to them, I could have that in place for them. And so it just became easier. It's like, instead of educating every person that asked about Yoga Alliance and saying to them, well, you don't actually have to be registered. It's an unregulated industry. And it just became easier to just say, if you can't beat them, join them. And so I did. Um, and I've been registered with them again now for years. I was on the education committee for a while, a few years, and then they kind of disbanded that in favor of the standards review committee. And they got rid of all the other committees. And so they were in the middle of changing their standards. And one of their standards has always been no online yoga. So I had the trainings that I offer in person, and those have always been registered, but the online trainings were never registered. And so, and we've had this beautiful online community, and the people who are in the online community just didn't care about registering with Yoga Alliance, no interest at all. So we talked about yoga, and we were a small knit group. Um, but it's always been a very supportive community and full of beautiful souls. So then in March, Yoga Alliance was right in the middle of kind of like unleashing the new standards from their standards review, and the pandemic hit. So here they are in this position. They've been saying for years, no online yoga teacher training, no way, no how, it can't happen. And now, if they stick to that, then all their yoga schools that they support who have teacher trainings going are not going to be able to finish. And all the potential registrations that they would have coming in, which is how they earn their income, they wouldn't have coming in. So what are they going to do? So they decided, well, from now, I think it was like March 15th, it was sometime mid-March, from now through June 30th, 2020, we're going to accept online yoga teacher training. So at that point, a lot of people, new people, started coming and enrolling because they wanted to register with Yoga Alliance specifically. So I talked to Yoga Alliance. They said, well, of course, your trainings are registered, the ones you teach in person. So we're going to accept the online one. It's the same thing. Keep rolling. You're good through June. So people that enrolled in March were like rushing to finish by June. And right when we got close to the deadline, they said, guess what, guys? We're going to extend the deadline through September 30th. So a lot of people were relieved. And then more people came and joined the community. And the level of anxiety was high. So now we're talking less about yoga and more about Yoga Alliance. And we're talking about deadlines, and everybody's stressed out. They want to register, they want to get it done in time. And so the training in the community kind of took on a different feel. And there was like a higher level of anxiety. Um, so anyhow, so everyone's rushing to get it finished, and then we get closer to that September 30th deadline, and they said, "Hey, guess what? We're gonna extend it until December 30th, and in October, we're gonna have these new online teaching exemption provisions that we're gonna tell you about." No, the first thing was they said we'll extend it through the end of the year. That's what it was. And then in October, they came back. So it was after they extended the September 30th to December 31st, 2020. They came back in October and said, hey, we have this new online teaching exemption and more information is going to come out. And then a couple weeks ago, the information came out, and then they had a webinar. And so in this webinar, what they told us is, okay, we're going to accept online learning through 2021, but it has to look like this. And to be honest, guys, I was kind of pleasantly surprised. We didn't know what they were going to say. We were all of us here on our team were really concerned, and we wanted to figure out how could we best serve all of you. If registering with Yoga Alliance is important for you, then we're aligned with you 100%. How can we make this happen for you? And that's what we're all about here. Our Zoom instructors, they show up for Zoom. They're there. They're holding space. They want to help you get the feedback you need so you can move forward and get registered. All of our team, the certificate processing team, everyone here wants to see you succeed. And if registering with Yoga Alliance is what you want, that's what we want for you. So we didn't know what to expect. We didn't know if it was going to be like mandated that everybody had to be on Zoom for the entire training. We didn't know what was going to happen. And actually, what they said didn't really require very much from you that's not already there. So a lot of what they want has more to do with what's required from me than what's required from you. They want to make sure that we're offering the option for you to get feedback on Zoom. And whether or not you take it, it's up to you. You don't have to get on the Zoom sessions, but we want to have those available for you. And they don't even require Zoom, really. They said you could do like a Q&A on chat if you want, but they want some type of live element, that kind of option. So we're doing the weekly Q&A on Wednesdays, and we have the live Zoom sessions. And then they also said they want practical assessment and written assessment. And what that does for them is that protects the RYT 200 registration. So if it becomes too easy to get that registration, it's going to lose its value and nobody's going to want it. And so it's to protect everyone that's worked for that in the past, and it's to protect you too, that they've tried to create these standards, and they want to make sure, like, guys, it's gotten weird out there in the yoga teacher training industry lately. There are companies that are charging people and then sending them like YouTube links to videos they don't own, and then they finish that and they can, download this certificate. And so Yoga Alliance has been hearing these things, and they've been, having to cut certain programs off, and they're trying to make sure that the programs that are out here are quality programs. And in their mind, one of the ways they do that is by having written assessment and practical assessment. So what does that mean for us? Well, we're not here to have a trick question or to make it hard for you to pass. We're here to support you. So for us, written assessment might mean a couple of true or false questions after each module. Um, all of our quizzes are open book. All of our quizzes can be taken unlimited times. And the final exam at the end can be taken unlimited times. The final exam is open book and it's designed to ensure your success. And the final project is to teach a yoga class. So you could teach on Zoom, you could teach your family, you could teach an invisible student, you could, take a video and go back and watch it so you can critique your own teaching style if you don't have students. And if you're unable to take a video, all you really have to turn in is a brief written summary. So you could turn in just a few sentences, a paragraph, and tell us how the project went for you, what came up for you, and things that we normally hear are like, the timing worked out just as I planned, or I think I was moving faster than I thought I would. I had more time left at the end than I expected to. This is what I would do differently next time. Here's what I liked about how it went. And you don't have to teach a super long class. It could be a 15-minute class, whatever works for you. And so that's what's changing on our end, is that instead of choosing between the final exam and the final project, you'll do both. Now, these changes are supposed to go into effect on January 1st. We're going to go ahead and get everyone's dashboard prepared for this, but these aren't going to be prerequisites. So if between now and January 1st you finish and you don't end up taking the final exam, you'll be able to pass through without taking it. Or if you choose to do the final exam without the final project, you'll be able to make that choice between now and January 1st. And then after that date, that's when everything goes into effect for the 2021 guidelines that they've just given us. So we're trying to keep up with this for you guys. We know that Yoga Alliance registration is important to you, or to many of you, and so we want to support you. And we're going to continue to update the program in whatever way that we need to, so that you will be able to register upon completion of the program. And so not much is really changing on your end. Most of the modules already have a quick quiz at the end. If there are any that don't, we're going to go back through the curriculum with a fine-tooth comb and see if we need to add any, or if it's all covered in the final exam at the end. And again, the final exam is open book, and it can be taken as many times as you need to take it. And the final project, we're really flexible. So anything that you need from us, you can always email us, let us know. We're here to support you. We want to make this work for you. Our goal is that at the end of the training, you are comfortable teaching a safe and effective yoga class. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch the video. And if I can answer any questions, you can post them right underneath this video, and I'll take a look and get back to everybody. Thank you.